2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018. Finally, we've had a year to wait, but 23 years after appearing at a major competition, Scotland are back at Euro 2020 or 2021, whichever you prefer.
You dropped older than I am.
And we are going to discuss the game between the Czech Republic and Scotland, and I've got two fabulous guests with me. First to my right is Reece Russell. How you doing, Reece?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I am buzzing, absolutely buzzing for this. And also, kudos to him for just finishing work and doing a night shift. We have Conor, Yank, talking smack. How are you doing, Conor?
Oh, good. I'm joined by my cat, who's coming to say hello because I've been gone for a while. So I'm doing a lot better now.
Excellent. We have some people already in the chat. Hello, Sebastian, going for 2-1 Scotland. Thank you very much, Sebastian. Afternoon, Helen. Good afternoon, Josh. If anyone has not seen Josh's video, then please go over and because it was a powerful video, and we absolutely kudos to you for speaking up, my friend, as well. And Josh and Helen having a wee chat in the comments as well. So, 23 years, Reece. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I can't really remember 1998. I don't think any of us can, but
I wasn't conceived.
You weren't conceived. Wow.
I wasn't even there yet.
So, Reece, I'll ask you this: did you think it was going to take 23 years to get to another major competition?
To be honest, coming from a optimistic Scotland national and Scotland fan, you wouldn't expect it to be that long, but it's international football. Like, anything can happen, really. The closest in my lifetime that we came to qualifying for a major tournament is probably Euro 2008. Probably my favorite European championship. But Euro 2008, like, we were so close, but we were screwed over by the referee in the Italy game. The final game where Scotland needed a point, Italy needed a point to get through as well. We were going through regardless. The French were going out. But instead, the Italians were awarded a free kick in the 95th minute when, frankly, I don't know how there was 5 minutes added on anyway. They were awarded a free kick, long ball from Pirlo, straight into the Di Natale, and Scotland were out. And after that, like, we ended up finishing fourth, and it pained me to see that because we were so close. That was an amazing Scotland team filled with players who had just reached top honours in football as well, but. Yeah. You know what? We've got a decent side. We've just never been able to get over the line. Now we're there. People are going to say, "Oh, Scotland are lucky because they got there through the Nations League." As far as I'm concerned, the Nations League was made to make it more competitive for teams. It was to replace boring friendlies. You still have your international friendlies, but now you've got a competitive friendly, a competitive tournament that can lead to more teams qualifying that may never get to a tournament in their lifetime. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a legitimate reason. We got there on penalties. We've got a better penalty record than England. So
I mean, it led to some amazing. I mean, it led to some. It leads to more interesting games than international friendlies because you had teams that a lot of times are very equal pegging, like Serbia when we played them, to where we ended up having 3 or 4 games in a row where every game was just an absolute nail biter, where you're just absolutely entertained from the first whistle to the last whistle. You're just completely entertained. And I think that's the great thing that we're seeing not only in Europe with the Nations League, but now as well, of course, over here. I'm going to shout out, what we're doing over here with the CONCACAF tournament that's just been conceived for us to replace the Gold Cup, which makes it to where now players that are playing in Europe that are their national team is over here in North America or South America, they can finally play for their international team again in the CONCACAF tournament. Because beforehand in the Gold Cup, if you were a European playing American or Mexican, you could not play in the Gold Cup for your team.
Yeah. Exactly. Rest in peace, Gold Cup. Rest in peace.
I don't care. Mexico won that way too many times. I don't care.
That's because they were the best in the minute, though.
Congratulations to the US for winning that. It was quite a cracking game actually. From what I can gather.
I watched the semi-final against Honduras. I thought, even though it finished 1-0, I thought that was a fantastic end-to-end game, like especially against the Hondurans.
Yeah, and we
just
beat
to say,
Costa Rica 4-0.
Just to say, Josh, this is my fiance's house. I'm staying with her for a week, so I managed to. She's at work at the moment, so I'm home alone. So it's nice. It's nice to be back.
And then there's Reece.
I'm a Scouser, but I'm Scottish descent. I hope Scotland batter England. Thank you, James. I really do appreciate that. And good morning, good day, good morning to all, says Liz Golden. Hello, Liz. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, it will be very early over there in America, but let's talk about the warm-up games, because I have to say, positive thoughts going into these games. Well, we drew 2-2 with the Netherlands and we won 1-0 away at Luxembourg. Conor, you've got to be really, really happy with the two performances against Holland and Luxembourg.
I mean, yeah, when you're looking at a team like Holland, too, we can talk all we want. And I mean, Reece and I definitely talked a bunch with Rene about De Boer and him leading the Dutch team. But it's still a Dutch side that's got many good talents. That's still a talented side. And for a team like Scotland, who,
take the lead twice.
We get a lot of stick. I was on the United Agenda yesterday, and I was surrounded by Englishmen who all are going, Scotland's going to finish fourth. Scotland's going to finish fourth, below the Czech Republic. I'm like, you really don't. Nobody puts enough respect on Scotland's name, and the fact that, I don't even care if it's a warm up, because England didn't do too well in their warm ups either.
That's what we were saying before we went live. It's what me and Doug were saying before we went live, like in the backstage area before you joined us. We were saying the exact same thing. Like, Scotland get too much disrespect, and I'm like, you don't see it. You don't see it for any Irish team. You don't see it for any Irish team. You don't see it for the Welsh, and it's it's disturbing that we get so much disrespect. I'm like,
they're scared. They're scared that we're getting better. Look at our starting lineup. We have so much. We have Premier League talent in Robertson, Tierney, McTominay. We have Nisbet coming through, who's going to be an amazing player. We have Che Adams, who's been amazing.
He scored in back-to-back games.
Irritating enough, Tavernier is not in this side. I feel like Clark's big miss was not having Tavernier in this squad going to the Euros.
I don't know. Like, as much as I've been saying for a long time, I wanted Tavernier in the squad. Look at Nathan Patterson.
Patterson's been absolutely fantastic. But you look at top to bottom, our talent. I mean, even David Marshall at his age, he's still a championship player. He was still in the championship this year. You can't fault that this team from top to bottom has a lot of solid quality, even more than, of course, Ireland, who's been absolutely dreadful lately. And I even could say that we're pretty much on par, if not got we've got a very similar side to Wales, where we have one or two big standouts, but a lot of the team is a lot of the Welsh team is some people that a lot of people wouldn't have ever heard of, but then there's those two or three big players that everybody's heard of, like Bale and James for Wales, and for us, we have McTominay and Robertson and Tierney.
I think there's a lot of players that in that Scotland team that do need a little bit of respect. And to be fair, the England team as well. Like, I'm going to quickly touch on England. Like, England have got a good side, but the problem is just like it's exactly it's the manager involved. Right? Unless they get rid of Southgate, like, you can forget winning the tournament. And I'll say this as well, and this is with all due respect to the English. If the English want to go past the round of 16 in the Euros, they better hope they come second.
Yeah, they
have. Right, Joe.
Yeah, I have to.
Yes.
I think England. The thing is England has had these consistent golden years, and it was ruined. A lot of people point to it was ruined the first time by Scholes not being played, not only enough, but when he was played not in the right position. When he played for England, and that was apparently a big thing that hurt them. But
back five. What you gonna do when the back five comes for you?
I actually think, for me, if we get Trippier, I'm going to touch on United for just a tad second, and then I'm going to move on. If we get Trippier, I can see a five at the back working, and I'm going to say that now. Moving back, though, I think England's got a great squad. I mean, you look at their top to bottom talent. I mean, the fact that Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I think is the best right back in England, isn't going, but there's still a lot of talent at right back going for England, shows that top to bottom, this English squad is stacked. I mean, you have Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane, who is one of the best strikers in the world. I don't care. I know everybody's opinions on him are washed, but Harry Kane's one of the best strikers in the world, period. You can just look at his goal scoring record to prove it. And then you have people in net that are solid.
Waistcoat merchant.
I was being nice for a change. I was being nice.
But you look top to bottom, from their goalies all the way up to their strikers, and it's not even that they've got one good player at each position. They've got two or three or four at every single position on the pitch.
The only problem is fitting them all in the person in charge of the team, and also they've got Pickford in goal. So please
That's
play
also
him.
because they're starting Mings as well. Which please start Mings.
Thank you, Yeti boy. One of the few Englishmen to actually say that we will finish second. Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
I think Croatia, but
now draw, so please play.
And just so you know, I'm not happy with this guy because he rigged it because I've got the Dutch.
Oh, here we go. Here we go
again.
Excuses. The goat arrives, George Kyle. Hello, George. Hope you're doing well. So let's look at the two games against Czech Republic that we played in obviously the Nations League. Now, we all remember that this was at a time that European and international football was at a bit of a standstill. It stopped prematurely.
Absolutely.
We played Czech Republic, and Czech Republic's squad actually got COVID. Now, because of this, they had to bring in a completely different team. Now, none of the players that were actually on this list actually played in that game. The game at Hampden, I know we won 1-0, but even then we were very, very good. So this will be a different game on Monday, Reece, won't it? From the two games that we played against them.
Yeah, and with all due respect, to the Czech Republic B team, they actually did give us a good game as well. And they gave us a good game, but obviously this is for fuck's sake.
I still think
it started.
The team. To be fair, I've got an unfair wager with her. I'm fucked either way. But what I will say though, and this is for the benefit of Scotland, is the Czech Republic's B team, they played us, but the Czech Republic's primary team have never played us either. So it's going to go in. It's going to go in as such a very difficult side of who actually gets it. Who actually gets to win. And the one thing that's going to happen is whoever scores first is probably going to win the game. Obviously I want to say Scotland because obviously it's at Hampden Park. We've been a lot better at home. I certainly think we've got a good chance to win this game, but I'm not going to write off Czech Republic so easily.
We've got the fans as well, which I think is a huge thing. The Tartan Army being in the stands.
That's a huge psychological thing.
Especially Scottish fans, it's one thing I've loved about watching Scottish fans is they're super passionate every single time they go into a game for any sport. It doesn't matter what sport they're going to watch. They're always absolutely there to, and I think the home field advantage, not even just for us, but for every single team in this tournament is going to be huge. I know you said that we haven't played their A team yet, but the fact that we beat them twice, I think still gives Scotland a little bit of a mindset of we beat them twice. We can do this again easily. Let's go out and beat them 3-0, 4-0. We know we can beat them.
But the problem is because it's the A team, you're not going to get a 3 or 4-0 result. What you're going to get is an end-to-end game where it is a hard-working performance from both teams that are going to try and catch each other out. I think Scotland will win it, but it's going to be so narrow. It'll either be a 1-0 Scotland win or it'll be 2-1. But I'm not going to put disrespect on the Czech Republic saying it's going to be an easy win. But I still believe we will win our first game.
I agree with this comment. Czech Republic side of 2004 was incredible. You think of the players that they had: Yank, Pavel Nedved, Patrick Berger,
a young Rosicky,
Rosicky,
Petr
Cech.
For me, I see us winning 3-1, and this is why Reece, I completely understand what you're saying about it being an end game. But for me, I think that not only do we have a better side, but we have a bench that has a lot of pace that we can bring.
Come on, this is not
the time. Not the time.
Everywhere I freaking go.
But I mean, you have to see that our bench has got a ton of pace. Where I think that the reason I think we can do well against the Czech Republic and even against as well against the Croatian side and beat them is, like we said, the Croatian side is aging, and this Czech Republic team. I think if we can get to the 60th minute and really tire this Czech team out and this Croatian team out, we can bring on a good pace and just be able to just use that fresh pace to really just drive the ball home and try and get us a 2-goal lead. Because I think if we can get a 2-goal lead at any point in the game, I think that's game over and that we're going to take that win against Croatia or against the Czech Republic.
I don't. Apparently, I hate the French. I don't hate the French.
God, I love it. I'm just being left alone. I love it. Just everybody go after Reece. I'm good.
I'm going to quickly reply to Helen as well. Like she said, it's my screen's flashing a lot. It's the camera coming off the Chromebook. It keeps flashing. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to.
Oh, I didn't.
It goes like it just flicks like black and white. Like I keep like I don't know why it does that. Like it just does. So I don't know how to fix it. So
yeah. Bottom line, Hampden Park's going to be a big deal and a big effect. I think on this game.
Definitely.
It's going to be. I think the Scottish fans in the stadium. I think the feel of having this. I feel like you have a special feeling when you put on the shirt of your country to play for your country, and it's our first tournament, our first major tournament in 23 years. We have fans back in the stadium. I think those two factors, Scotland's going to pull off something special because we have those two huge factors coming into play with the drought and with the fans, and it's going to make a very interesting tournament for Scotland.
Definitely.
I genuinely think we could go in this group. Funny, I wish. The funny thing is like New Zealand went unbeaten in their very first tournament in 2010 World Cup. They went unbeaten in the group stage, didn't qualify. We could still technically go unbeaten and not go through. Like we could get 3 draws and still not go through. Like I'm not saying we are going to go unbeaten in this group, but if we did, I'd be all right with that.
I can see a win in 2 draws.
It's going to be so
basically difficult. If you win this game, you're halfway through it about qualifying. It's all about how you do in the next 2.
I think 5 points. I think 5 points gets us through in second. I really do.
It just does. I don't know if we will. I want us to say second, but I think we may go through as a third best placed team. But if we get second, that's great. But it means we've got to play the winner of the Spain group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I would honestly love that. And
McGinn,
I can as well.
I'm a huge fan of McGinn. I think the McTominay and McGinn in the midfield is going to be an absolute blessing for this side.
Super John McGinn, as they say. Right. So we've obviously spoken about Scotland. Let's talk about our opponents, Czech Republic. Now, I've just got all their squad here. So goalkeepers have got Tomas Vlachek of Sevilla, Ali Mandu. Sorry if I butcher these names, people. If you are obviously from the Czech Republic and you're watching this, and I do apologise that I butcher these names. So we've got Ali Mandu from Sigma Ulamuk. I think that's how you pronounce it. Then Yari Pavlenka, who's probably the number 1 goalkeeper of Werder Bremen. Unlucky to be relegated as well, as obviously myself and Reece watch the Bundesliga. Their defence, there are a few notable names in here. Vladimir Coufal of West Ham, Thomas Kalach of Bristol City, once of ex-Chelsea as well. And then in midfield, they have Vladimir Darida, Alex Kral, Soucek. Yeah,
Soucek's going to be the big danger man for them.
Just about to say that. Vidra at Burnley, Patrick Schick of Bayer Leverkusen, and Thomas Peckart of Legia.
Patrick Schick's a threat.
One person to look out for is Adam Holozek.
Yes.
Their 18-year-old forward is an absolute baller, and I actually think he's one of their best forwards they have, and I think he's going to be the guy to look out for.
One that's going to cause us problems with my forward position is Patrick Schick. Like he used that at one point, he was averaging a goal a game, and this was a half a season at Leipzig before he went to Bayer Leverkusen. He was averaging a goal a game, and that's not exactly something easy to deal with. Like, but if we keep them quiet, we should be fine. We've got a relatively strong defense as well. Like it's going to be a very interesting game.
I will say one person I didn't see until I actually looked again at the list. We can look at Jakub Yank. I don't know, Douglas, if you said it, but Jakub Yank, who plays plays for Sampdoria over in the Italian league. I think we can say all we want about how good our team is, but you have to look at the Czechs. And even though I think our squad is definitely better, the Czechs have some decent players, especially in the midfield and going forward. But I think that we have such a solid defense, like with Patterson and Hanley and Hendry have both been. I'm not saying with Hendry, but we've had defensive players stepping up, and we have a middle of the park that really knows how to control games. McTominay and McGinn, I think, can both control a game pretty well and help us go forward to the point where I think we can handle. In
my opinion, he shouldn't start the Czech Republic game.
Who shouldn't?
Scott McTominay.
You think so? For me, I think if anything, you throw him back into the center. You throw him back into the defensive pairing because I think he does do a very good job playing at the back of the defense, and he has that height to go up against. Going up against the Holozek, who's 6'2", or the Picard if they bring him on, who's 6'4". he has that height that we need to really go up against some of these bigger players, and I think he goes up against them well.
Yeah.
I mean, Soucek is 6'3". Do we really not want to have McTominay on when a corner comes in?
My problem with McTominay is the way he's played in the last 2 international games, where he hasn't particularly been. Even whether it's been midfield or defence, he hasn't particularly turned up. He's had to rely on Ryan Christie in front of him, and he's had to rely on either Callum McGregor around him or John Mcginn. He hasn't particularly done anything. I would rather he came off the bench maybe against Czech Republic just to play himself into form, because he was not reliable enough. Even against in our last game as well, like, it was disappointing. We should have won 3-0, and like, everywhere he touched the ball, he was not. He just didn't show anything. But Billy Gilmore came on for him. And look at Billy Gilmore. He nearly scored twice in 5 minutes. I'm not going to say Gilmore should start, but frankly, like McTominay, either he starts from the off and he actually puts in a proper shift, or you play him off the bench and you start Callum McGregor beside John Mcginn. To be honest,
and for me, like I said, with the pace coming off the bench, that could end up being even a blessing in disguise for us having McTominay off the bench, because that brings, when everybody's tired. When everybody gets tired, when you get tired, you don't jump as well as you do when you're fully adrenaline. That could come to our advantage, where he could come fresh off the bench. He's got like George says, he's got an amazing engine, and his leading ability is great, and he's a decent header of the ball as well. He can get a good head on the ball, to where if Soucek and all of them aren't jumping as well in the 75th minute because they're tired, he can rise up above the rest and get a goal.
I will say this is the perfect game where we haven't got Ryan fucking Gold. Like, this is the perfect game.
Yeah, it is. The one thing I will say though, I do like the fact that we actually have McGinn and McTominay. I know it's the hard working midfield, but I would rather have McGinn and McTominay as a two, because let's be honest, McGinn has had a fantastic season at Aston Villa, and you know what, he is Scotland's top goal scorer in World Cup qualifying. So
exactly,
he's an amazing player. I love him.
Yeah. Obviously, we've all seen him go through. Obviously, we all sort of support, Scottish football teams. Obviously, with Reece being Rangers, me being Livingston, and Conor being Kilmarnock. But we've obviously seen, John McGinn coming through. Yes, I'm sorry I had to mention Killy. Yeah.
Oh, they're going down.
We actually, funny enough, we just signed McGinn's little brother or older brother. We signed
that.
Yeah, we signed him.
Scotland have to win this game with Czech Republic. Oh, absolutely! Like, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Whichever way you.
Whoever scores first wins this game. I
think the great thing that we have though with the Scottish team, that above all else I think will be a huge factor, are the engines of pretty much everybody on the pitch. Everybody's willing to put in a shift, and everybody's constantly just going. One person, my player to watch out for this tournament is not Billy Gilmore. My person to watch out for this tournament is Nisbet up front.
Yes,
he's young and he's scored. He's come on and already gotten his first goal for Scotland. And getting your first goal for your national side right before a major tournament is a huge boost to his morale. He's going, I've just come into the national side and I've scored right before a national tournament, and here I go, to the Euros. I think he's going to be riding a super high. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he can really do some damage for us and score a couple goals during the course of the tournament.
I think Dykes is the one that, like, as much as I like Che Adams, the fact that he's scored a couple of brilliant goals as late, like Nisbet scored, I think the one to really watch out for is Lyndon Dykes.
But for me, I think Lyndon Dykes has been with us for a bit, and he's solid, of course, but I think when it's looking at guys who are just now coming into the side, like Nisbet and Gilmore, I think Nisbet is our person to watch for all the new people that we brought into the side.
Oh, he is, but I think if you look at how Adams has complemented Dykes and how Dykes is complimenting Adams so far, is Dykes is willing to allow Adams to get in behind, so Dykes can pick the ball up and then just thread the ball through. Like, he's particularly good at holding up the ball, and Adams, he's not particularly a hold-up ball striker, even though he is capable of it. It's not what he does. Like, for him, it's getting into acute positions and then scoring, because that's what he'd done to get his first goal, and then he scored in back-to-back games in the exact same way. Oh yeah, we love that football's back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I will say, I think Gilmore and Nisbet are going to be super subs for us, and they're going to be very good super subs for us. One person I'm excited for who performed super well at the end of the World Cup qualifiers and then the Euro qualifiers as well well, not only Hanley but Tierney as well, who's been phenomenal for us when he's playing for Scotland.
Kieran Tierney. Yeah,
I mean, look at he had the one game where he scored 2 goals. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us lately. And you can talk all you want about him being in Arsenal. I don't care that he's played for Arsenal. Who's whatever.
Comfortable left centre back.
Look at.
So
I don't care.
I
don't care. I don't care who they play for club level right now. The only thing that matters is they play for Scotland and how they played for Scotland. And Tierney's been absolutely phenomenal for us. And I'm really hoping he carries that into the tournament because if he does, I think that with him in form and a lot of other players, if they catch form, this could be a team that draws again remember, we drew with England the last time we played them 2-2, and that was only because they scored in the last minute. This could be a team that upsets England. This could be a team that tops the group for all we know. We don't know. It's just all depending on what we see.
It's going to be such a group where you've actually got to keep an eye on it because obviously the last time, sadly enough, the last time we were in a group stage with England, it did not go well. But the one thing's for sure is like that team lacked a little bit of the Scotland team. Obviously, I went back and watched like Euro '96, and obviously I went back and watched France '98, where it was different groups, but it was similar performances. Where the Scottish, when they got into the group, they didn't have a little bit of fire and belief in themselves. Like they were just like, "Oh, we've got now, but what can they do?" But you look at this team now, where they're still hungry to keep
got
going.
That fire in their ass.
There is something there, and there is a lot of top talent in this squad.
Griffiths isn't in the squad, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he's
not in the squad.
Who do you have? I think it's probably going to be Tierney and Robertson.
No,
taking a couple of them because I know
they'll be taking any to get the ball into the box, but anything in terms of shooting them, it'll probably be John Mcginn or Ryan Christie.
Yeah, that's a fair enough point.
I would definitely say that
way out
as well.
Hey, all I'm saying is if we go to penalties every single game, we're going 3-0 in this group. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to say now. If we go to penalties in every single game we play, we're going to win every single game in the group.
Only if it goes to extra time because it's only 1 point, mind. Scotland will play 3-4-1-2.
3-4-1-2.
Yeah, and we'll see. Like you said, we'll see Dykes and Che Adams complement each other up at the double striker spot.
Dykes and Adams front two. Ryan Christie playing in the attacking midfield role.
He's always got to be there.
McGinn and McTominay will play as the two midfielders.
Yeah,
I have to say that the amount of disrespect Scotland have been getting recently is absolutely ridiculous. Like I've seen people put us like fourth. I've seen people put us like fourth with no points. Like, come on,
losing to the Czech Republic and everybody else not drawing a single point. I've had 2 people tell me that we're not going to score this tournament.
Yeah, dream on.
I honestly think that we can. I think if start on the pot. I mean, Steve Clarke has actually said this week that we're going to go in the offensive. I love
his mentality. I love Steve Clarke's mentality going into this tournament. He's not afraid of fucking anybody, and that's the Scottish mentality. Scottish, we're not afraid of fucking anybody. We will take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. And it's just like this tournament, and it's just like Clarke says. We're not coming in here, going, "Oh, it's our first major tournament." We're going, "It's our first major tournament. We're taking everybody out."
Shout out to Conroy Talks. Hope you're doing well, my friend. No Gilmore starting.
I think he'll start the Croatia game. I think Billy Gilmore will start against Croatia.
So, with that being said, it's time for starting 11. So, I'll start with Reece. What is your starting 11 for Monday's game against Czech Republic?
Monday's game, obvious in goal, is Marshall. Back three, I'm going Hanley, McKenna, and I'm trying to think Tierney as well, definitely left centre back. I was thinking like they may change it around, but no, I see that happening. The wing back positions, it's going to be O'Donnell, but I would rather have Patterson in there. He's a more better attacking threat. But O'Donnell and Robertson is the two wing backs. In the pivot, I'm going to have McGinn and McTominay. Attacking midfield, Ryan Christie behind. He'll be playing behind the front two of Dykes and Adams.
Sounds good to me, Connor. What is your starting 11?
I think I've pretty much got to go the same thing. I just looked at the Scottish national team because I wanted to just show how much skill we have and how much talent we have on this side. And the first thing that's popped up is apparently the Scottish fans are banned from Shoreditch and Croydon. They won't allow anybody rooting for Scotland, only England, in those areas to watch the games, to watch the England-Scotland game. Apparently, Scotland fans are completely banned. It's just literally come out at 15:05 today.
Oh gosh. Oh
It
well.
just now came out.
They can stop us all they want. That's not going to work.
We're still going to win.
James Dunlop, I absolutely agree with you. The disrespect is pathetic. We'll give teams about. Yeah, people think it's small, just small Scotland now. We're a different team now from like you remember the dark days of 2002, drawing 2-2 away at the Faroe Islands, and everyone thought, oh, that was a really bad result. Or
5 years old, and I still haven't forgotten.
Or only beating Liechtenstein by 2-1 as well. This is a different Scotland team.
I mean, I think it's a lot like the American team, and I'm not saying that the American team is on par with the Scotland team. I'm just saying in the aspect of there's so many players for both teams now in Europe that you didn't really hear of before. A lot of times you hear most of the Scottish players are playing in the SPFL, but now we're having a lot of moving on to these bigger teams in the rest of Europe, and it's the same with the Americans. We moved a lot of our players in America out of the U.S. that are now playing for Juventus and Chelsea and RB Leipzig and, all these big teams around Europe. And it's the same thing with the Scottish team. We have a lot of players that are playing for major teams now. It's not something where we're little sisters of the poor anymore.
I'll say this I'll say this as well, by the way. The whole, yesterday he wished us well. I'm saying this now. Boris Johnson, we don't give a fuck about
your flying fuck about your thank yous and good lucks.
Your well wishes are going firmly up your arse, mate. None of us care.
I will say one person I don't want to see the field is Fleck. I don't want him to see the field. I'd rather have Turnbull going in over him.
I think Turnbull's going to be massive off the bench, by the way. I honestly think Turnbull's going to come off the bench and score.
Yeah.
Crayon Muncher.
Crayon Muncher, Declan Rice. England always overhype themselves. Yeah, are hopeless defensively. Yeah.
Apparently Rice has never had a pint. He went on an interview today and said he's 22 and he's still never had a pint of anything.
Fair play to him. If he's not a drinker, then fair play to him.
He says he joked that if they win, he'll celebrate by drinking for the first time, but he'll probably spit it right back out.
Wouldn't surprise me. Right.
I mean, it's like that's saying they win anything, which they're not. So.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go Marshall. I'm gonna go. Throw him in. Patterson. Go on. Go for it. I'm gonna go.
I'd love him to start. I really would, because I've watched. I'm gonna go. Rangers fan. He's so good.
So I'm gonna go Marshall, Patterson. I'm gonna go Hanley. I'm gonna go Cooper, and then I'm gonna go Tierney, and then obviously it'll be Robertson, and then Mcginn, McTominay, and then I'm gonna go Armstrong. And then I'm going to go Dykes and Che Adams up front.
Yeah. Do you reckon he might start Ryan Fraser, as a winger starting up front? Because he has done that in certain games against these types of teams. And to be honest, I wouldn't blame him.
Would you see him playing Forrest instead of Fraser, though, if he's going to play an attacking player on that right wing back? Would you see him putting Forrest over Fraser? Because that's the thing.
Why he's in the squad baffles me. He's such an overrated player, James Forrest.
And I would rather have Jack, of course, but of course he's injured.
I honestly don't get why John Fleck's in the squad and James Forrest.
Ryan
Jack, obviously he couldn't make it, obviously due to injury, which is a damn shame because he would be starting over McTominay.
Right side,
I honestly believe he would start over McTominay in that midfield, but. John Fleck getting there ahead of Ryan Gauld is disgusting to football. John Fleck hasn't been good in football since 2011 when he last played for Rangers.
I feel like it's being held against him that he was playing in Portugal this year. A little bit.
Yeah. Turfmoor House TV is in. Hello, Dan. This is Scotland's best chance. Squad is the strongest it's been in years. Getting through the group will just push you on strength to strength. If England flap about, go do it for Britain.
Nah, we'll do it for ourselves.
We'll do it for ourselves, for Scotland and in Scotland alone.
Okay, you're just joining late in Scotty. I've just said Marshall, Patterson, Hanley, Cooper, Robertson, McGinn, McTominay, Armstrong, Dykes, Adams. There you go.
I'll tell you one thing though. Hanley going into this on the back of the form he's been in, he's got a decent chance, because obviously I remember the last game we spoke about was I think it may have been the Austria game. Me and you done a review of the game, and we battered.
He's been battered by the Scottish fan base recently.
I think he's come a long way from that. He's definitely come a long way. Just on the Poon, it's at Hampden Park.
Two of our games are at Hampden. Hampden Park for Czech Republic and Croatia. The only game we don't
one
have
is at Wembley.
I think that's huge. I think that's absolutely huge for us because it means we have home game, and might as well be a fucking home game because it's in England. So, I mean, this is the best situation we could get. I think this is.
We don't have to travel far.
We don't have to travel far, but I think it's also
question.
we get fans for the two games that I think we have the best chance to win. We have fans in the stadium that are our home fans.
Yeah. Reece, I know you've got to get your brother.
Yeah, I'm just keeping watch of him. He's not here yet, so I'm keeping watch. I'm going one of 3 players. Sorry guys, Lewandowski is not one of my predictions. I'm going. It's between Thomas Müller, Harry Kane, or Bruno Fernandes. I think one of those 3 will be the golden boot. Well, the golden ball, I should say. Yeah.
Connor.
I'm going to go Harry Kane, Bruno Fernandes, and if they decide to finally start passing to him, watch out for Olivier Giroud.
I will say this though, my player of the tournament, I'm actually going to give it to a player no one would expect. I reckon player of the tournament is going to be Paul Pogba.
You never know. He's amazing for the French side.
That could be.
And I think Olivier Giroud he's at his best when he plays for that French squad as well. It's like it's like Kieran Tierney. He's at his best when he's playing for the Scottish side. So
that's 100%.
John Fleck's not going to start. Period. John Fleck shouldn't see the field while he's playing unless there's injuries. I think Billy Gilmore.
Is he still got COVID?
I have no clue.
Yeah, good shout from Stu. Like Gnabry on the break. He's so that German squad at the Euros is going to be lethal. Like the players they've got, like Müller, Werner, Havertz, Gnabry,
don't
Leroy Sané.
Don't say Scousland. Don't even get that.
Scousland.
Good luck, James. Good luck.
Goretzka as well. Like he's coming into form for the Germans. Like I can't wait to watch the Germans.
What are they feeding these players at Bayern Munich that freaking Goretzka turns into like what the hell? What the hell are they feeding these people? Like I need to get on.
I'm gonna be 2 minutes because that's my brother just turned up, so I'm just gonna go and get him. I'll be
no worries. No worries. That's a good point from George Kyle, actually. Player of the tournament, I think, will be N'Golo Kante.
Very good shout.
That's a very good shout. That's a really good shout. I was going to say, whatever. I'm 21 stone. I need to know whatever the heck they're feeding those players over at Bayern so I can get into shape like that.
Just going back on this one, there's always someone who comes out of their shell from absolutely nowhere. Like nobody would expect them to be top goal scorer. I'm going Diogo Jota because I think Portugal are going to have a good tournament.
So they're going to focus on Bruno and Ronaldo, and they're going to leave Jota over there on that left wing to just do havoc.
Yeah, I just think Portugal. I watched their highlights this morning. They looked really good. Cancelo on the right.
I think if tactics go right, if tactics go right and they go deep, like you're going with Jota, I think Jadon Sancho. They're going to focus on Harry Kane. They're going to focus on Raheem Sterling. They're going to focus on Marcus Rashford. I feel like because he's in the Bundesliga, we don't hear as much about how well. The only time we really hear about Jadon Sancho is links to United. So I feel like he's going to be underestimated, especially with the rest of the talent that he's got in the squad. The English team is very talented. So I think no matter what, the English player is going to be in the race if they can go deep in the tournament. If they can get out of the group stages and if they can get to the semifinal, Harry Kane or someone in that English squad will be in the top 3 for that golden boot. It's just who it will be.
I think the difference with England this time around is that they've got us, they've got Czech Republic, and they've got Croatia. That's a trickier group than they actually had in the World Cup. Because you think about it, that was Tunisia, that was Panama, and Belgium. That was
just Belgium, and that was pretty much it. But I think the Czech side's tricky. The Croatian side is super tricky. There's one person that I'm going to bring up. I swear I'm bringing him up like every other day now. And I've gotten crap asking if I'm getting 5% of his future transfer fees, which I wish because I'm broke and I need money. And because I have a wedding coming up, you know how it's like. They're expensive. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
But the player called Bruno Petkovic, who's taken over from Mandzukic as their big starting 6'3", 194 pounds. 22 goals and assists in 32 games this last year. And he's got pace as well. He's 6'3" with it. I'm going to look at his FIFA. I'm going to go off his FIFA card because that's how I look. But I've also done the eye test and watched him play. He's got 80 pace and 95 strength. Like, he's a big, strong, fast. It's scary how I've seen him play, and he literally will run by defenders and then just toss them off like they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's a player. He's a player for that Croatian squad where I'm like, yeah, they've got an old one. He's only 27.
Mm-hmm.
So he's my player of this entire group for England, for Scotland, for Czech Republic, and for Croatia. He's my player to watch out for. That's going to turn some heads, and he's going to come out of his shell.
George Kyle, absolutely agree with that comment. Portugal have a ridiculous side. Yeah,
Portugal's insane. It's unfair how good the Portuguese, German, and French sides are.
France. It's their squad depth.
And Germany,
insane.
Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Germany. Look, I mean, I remember I was watching the Mika, whatever his name is, and Roy Keane, their little ride along thing, and they're just talking about all the players. They look at the list of all the French players left out, but you can look at all the German and all the Portuguese players left out, and they're just as strong.
Nippon, you do forfeits for everything, man. Like, eventually you'll just forfeit like a gender change or something.
Oh no, Nippon, I don't see you guys getting out of the round of 16. But I was just saying an example of a situation where I could see the English side having a potential golden boot scorer.
Yeah, I was just saying, when you were away, there is someone who actually comes out of their shell and actually comes top goal scorer that nobody thinks about. I've gone Jota.
I think Timo Werner could be that.
That would be for me. I think it's Olivier Giroud. I think he gets a lot of stick, and I think, and everybody. And it's weird to see. And I'm not, don't call me a Chelsea fan because I'll fucking stick a fork in your eye.
Sorry, I don't mock Havertz and I don't mock Werner. People think I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not. I'm just a German fan, and I will not mock those two.
But for me, Giroud is someone who, when I look at the comments, because of course there's a whole thing of him going, no one, like, literally he called out, he's like, some people literally are not passing me the ball, and everybody who watched the French games are actually going, no, he's actually kind of right. No one literally is throwing him the ball. Like, Mbappe was having a bunch of times where he'd do stupid step overs and stupid shots, and when Giroud was available, but Giroud's a player who everybody's calling him a backup only option. He will only ever be a backup. He's never going to be but he's a great talent, and it's insane to see all the disrespect he gets. And I think he could be a surprise where he could score, 5 or 6 goals.
Colin, Anton Griezmann, he's a player that I like. I've got an honest to God feeling Anton Griezmann is going to be utter shite.
Yeah, he's going to be utter god shite. He's going to be terrible.
I honestly think Olivier Giroud, Benzema, and Mbappe are going to all outscore Griezmann.
I think Mbappe's going to shit the bed. I think he's too. And someone commented this. I think Neymar's infected him with just this holier than thou. I'm going to do everything myself attitude.
I don't think so. Neymar's like that because that's Neymar's nature. But I think Mbappe's so humble. If you actually watch him play, he isn't. He's a selfish guy.
But the thing is if you, for the people that have looked at the French games, their warm up games, he was having tons of times where he'd do 6, 7 step overs and force off a shot when Giroud or someone else was wide open. And as soon as he came off, Giroud scored twice.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely.
I do think he does need a bit of. I get where you're coming from, but I do think like Mbappe does need a little bit of respect because you look at what he done in the World Cup 3 years ago.
I respect him.
He lit up really well, and he's taken international football by storm, and rightfully so. Like he's put the work in. But I get where you're coming from, like in terms of like the comments. There are times where he can be really.
It's kind of like Rashford.
Really selfish.
There's really Rashford and Mbappe. I'm not saying they're the same level of player. I think they're both world class players, but they both have this thing where they do have moments of brilliance where they are unselfish and they'll, make that good pass. They'll make that brilliant cross. But both have that times where they've got blinders on and they're just looking down at the ball, doing tricks, and then trying to pull off a shot by themselves against 3 or 4 players.
Yes, STV for us and BBC, but anybody else, ITV and BBC.
I'm gonna hope and pray that I get those games. If I can, I'm gonna cry.
If not, use his goal, pal. He's goal.
I know that's what I've been doing.
That's what I use. Goal. Yeah,
I use that.
The one good thing is if you're watching it, obviously for ourselves and BBC, if you're not interested in watching any other games at the Euros, teams just don't interest you. On BBC, after the games on Monday, you'll get the Copa America straight after. It's going to be back-to-back Copa America Euros, Copa America Euros. You're going to get all for the 10 days.
Like Reece, my other team is Switzerland, so we're going to be doing absolutely nothing this tournament. So I'm pretty much going to be watching Scotland.
STV, I think.
STV. Yeah, the Czech Republic games on BBC. Because your panelists will be, oh god, who's it? Ellie Barber and I think James McFadden.
Mm-hmm.
And then I cannot think. I actually wonder potentially they might get a Czech player, maybe like Petr Cech or someone. I honestly
I'd love that. Honestly, I would love that. Honestly,
I would love to see. I forget who it was that's come on and has been like. Okay, there's one, and I know now who it is and why he wouldn't be it. But Ryan Dempsey's come out of hiding and has become an analyst. And apparently, in his one game, became an analyst. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Can we all just say there's one major issue about the pundits are actually going to the Euros? Can we all agree as a mutual? If we hear his voice, we mute them. We'll hear their voices. We mute Graham Souness and we mute Jermaine Genius.
Yes. God, I hate both of those fucking ugly fuckers.
Josh, to answer your question, the Olympics, I think the Olympics are in July, mid to late July.
July the 26th, I think, from memory.
For me, Nipun, I'll
Tokyo. Tokyo.
For Nipun, I'll comment on the whole Rashford isn't world class. I think I heard a comment that from Roy Keane again on their Micah, whatever his name is, and they're doing their whole traveling to the Euros thing where they have each episode, and they're talking about Rashford and Sterling where they're getting trashed on for having bad seasons, but their seasons were still really good, and I think that marks a world class. You can say not world class, but an extremely talented player when they have a really good year, and it's called that was shit. It was an off year for them.
I think the one thing is in terms of Rashford, the best way to put it is Rashford for the past 3 or 4 seasons has had world class numbers.
Yeah.
But in terms of performances, he's had performances where you could define as world class. He's not there yet. He's not the world class player yet, but he is getting there. He is such a good player.
I don't think he should get the Euros.
I don't believe Raheem Sterling is. I don't think Raheem Sterling is.
I know we've kind of gone sort of sideways, but here's a question I want to ask you both, as you're obviously both Manchester United fans. How much time do you think Rashford will get this games?
I think he'll get a game and a half. I don't think that he should play against Czech Republic.
He won't.
Maybe half an hour against Scotland and play him 60 minutes against the Czechs. But Croatia, Czech Republic, don't play him. But he really needs a rest, man.
I think like Van Dijk, he should have just gone, I'm going to keep myself out of the Euros for my own health going forward. And I think Rio Ferdinand had a great thing is that the perfect person for Rashford to talk to right now is Michael Owen. Purely on the basis of how you can be affected going down the line by being burnt out and being played every single game and needing to know your own body to know, being able to say to the manager, you know what, I need a rest for this game. I need to take a game off because you can't play. Because we look at Michael Owen by 28, he was done. He was done.
I think there's too much pride. I think Rashford's biggest weakness is his pride. He's such a proud man, but he wants to do everything to the best of his ability, and he wants to keep going and going and going. But there's only so much the human body can physically take before it deteriorates. I really want him to get healthy. Yeah. If he doesn't get healthy, I'm genuinely worried for next season.
I'm super worried. And the thing for me, that's why I think I'm so big on wanting to get Sancho, because I think if we can knock him in and knock him down, I think that gives. Alan.
Thank you.
Right. That's right.
I think if we can get Sancho, then that gives Rashford the opportunity to get that. He gets that rest because then he has Greenwood who can play and Sancho who can play, and that gives Rashford a chance to take they can go take the time you need to do any surgeries you want, but get yourself to where when you come back you're fully fit.
So I'm going to ask you both now, what is your score prediction for Monday? Reece, I'm going to come to you first. What is your score prediction?
I'm going 2-1 Scotland, Czech Republic to score first.
Conor?
3-1 Scotland with Adams, Mcginn, and Tierney scoring.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go 2-1 as well. I think Soucek is going to score. I think Soucek or Kral or imagine the Vidra scores.
I'm going to say Soucek or Hlozek.
I'm going to say Patrick Schick. He's just
that's a good plan.
He's just lethal in and around the box. Like he's lethal from any position.
I'm going to go Soucek to score for Czechs, and I'm going to go for Lyndon Dykes, and I'm going to go John McGinn to score. Guys, get your score predictions. Get your score predictions in the chat, and I'll read them out before we go.
Mine, I'll go. I'll go Patrick Schick to score the opening goal, and then I'll go McGinn and Adams, and I'm also going to go David Marshall to save a penalty.
I could see that happening. I could see David Marshall, the beauty he is. I want to see him. I want to see him do what Kasper Schmeichel did for Denmark. Saving a penalty in a big game.
Yeah, it'd be good.
2-2 says Kaustab. Could be 2-2.
You know, Stu, I don't mind that run of games. I think that gets us.
Jeannie, it won't be 0-0.
See,
it won't be 0-0.
If it is a 0-0,
there will be goals.
As long as it's exciting. If it's a boring 0-0, then kill me now.
I'm okay with that run of games. I'm okay with it. If it means that we beat England, I'm okay with it.
That's the comment of the stream so far. 1-1 versus Czechs, 1-1 versus Croats, and Che Adams to beat England 1-0 and send the Gammons home. Football's gammon home.
You know what's funny? Every podcast I've been on the past 2 weeks, I've said the exact same thing. Che Adams is going to score right at the very end of the England game, and we're going to win 1-0.
If we can send England home, the funny thing is they don't have to go far. They're already in.
No, they're already
it's
home.
Coming home. Nowhere fucking is not.
Rashford's coming home to get surgery and make some hash browns.
Well, what was the same from Still Game? It's coming home. It's coming home. No, it isn't.
Exactly.
Napoon's gone 2-1 Scotland as well.
You know what I will say as well? See I will put our prediction out there, a shock one. Croatia to beat England 2-0.
I think if tactically England doesn't set up I think if Southgate really messes up his tactics, it's a game that Croatia can win, because Croatia is a solid team. They are aging, but they're still Modric, they're still Bruno Petkovic, they're still solid players in that lineup. To where if he really messes up tactically and plays the wrong play, if he plays Tyrone Mings, they're going to lose.
I honestly reckon Modric will dip a free kick in the bottom corner, and I reckon Kramaric will score.
But for me,
Josh, are you high?
Well, he's Irish.
3-3.
He's the craziest 3-3. Irishman I know. Like, that's the craziest Irishman I know. Like,
he's been drinking. He's been drinking since the last Northern Ireland game.
Perisic and Rebic,
of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Perisic is decent, but he's getting on a bit. Rebic is a nightmare, especially if he gets him behind, because he's got such pace.
For me, I just feel like if Mings plays, I feel like England's doomed, because he's an absolute tosser.
England back three. Ben White, Connor Cody, if he's there, I don't know, and Tyrone Mings.
Imagine they played that against us
with Jordan Henderson sitting right there in the defensive midfielder role to get chewed up and spat out.
And Pickford in goals.
Oh Jesus, the stubby little T-Rex arm. You just got to tuck it about a foot away from him and he can't reach.
Obviously,
Jeannie's comment wins it.
If it's coming home isn't England.
I love that. You know, the good
Croatia's
thing is
weak defensively as compared to the other three teams.
They're very
That's interesting.
They're a top-heavy team, I will admit, but I think that their top-heaviness can, especially because their midfield is so good, I think makes up for their defensive lacking. And I think their goalie is solid as well.
It's a weakness, like defensively. But if you can outscore teams, like, who cares?
I suppose you still have Dejan Lovren in the back line of that Croatia defense, and then they've got Kaleta Kar? Is that I think he's Croat as well. Marseille player.
I'm going to look at their team right now.
He is good. Like, he is proper good.
Back three should be Stones, Walker, and Shaw if Southgate wants to play that. Apparently, you're doing something at 5. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got a podcast at 5 o'clock. But if you want, we can go we can go a little bit earlier. I don't mind if you want, but yeah, we're doing me and Josh are going to go week to week on the channel. We're going to do predictions and we're going to compete against each other. So like, it's literally just who gets the correct scores.
Is this live?
I think so.
Right. Ooh,
5 o'clock on Josh's channel, guys. Tune in. It is me versus Josh.
Okay, so I will say they do have the Croatian team does have Vladimir Kalinic, who plays for Aston Villa.
He isn't that good.
He isn't that good,
yeah.
But I know I'm trying to just find
the ones to worry about for me personally. The ones to worry about is Kramaric, Rebic, Modric.
I don't know, Genie, to be honest with you.
And to be fair,
I will say
another one as well. I actually particularly don't like, but at the World Cup, he actually had a very decent tournament. Is Vida?
Oh yeah, the Mogoj Vida. Yeah,
I will bring you a defensive player that I think actually is half decent.
It's not live because I'm going to make that. Oh, I would have loved to have joined that. Never mind.
But how about we do it, Josh? How about we do it live? Because that means we cannot get out of it. And then let's physically go live. Let's do it. This one will go live because it's the first prediction show. Then afterwards we'll do recordings. I want to get live reactions on it. I want to go nuts.
For the Croatian defense,
I would definitely be up for anything doing predictions wise. But guys, we have been in 56 minutes in. If you have enjoyed the stream, then please hit that like button and share the stream as well. But thank you very, very much to my two guests for coming on, Reece and Conor, who will probably be getting some sleep now.
I have a stream at I believe it's 7 o'clock UK time, so I'll be getting about 2 hours, and I'll be going back on another stream, and then I'll probably
you are a machine, my friend. You are a machine, but
and then I might be doing another 2 hours and being on Rich's stream as well. So I might be bouncing that in and out. I might be just power napping my day.
But Reece, just tell where everyone can find you in the socials.
So you can find me at Twitter. United Venom 7, injecting lethal venom into clowns, delusional muppets, cockwombles, a lot of them, and dealing with bullies. You can find me there. You can also find me at Twitch, Reece_Lightning 1997. I will be streaming tonight as well. I haven't streamed in a little while. And you can also find me exclusively on the Dugout Football channel as well. I'm exclusive to there as well. So,
and Conor, where can we find you in the socials as well?
Literally everything. Just look down. That's my Twitch, that's my Twitter, that's pretty much all I'm on. Everything else I keep extremely private, but my Twitter and my Twitch, my name says it all. I'm always talking shit. I don't care who it is, what it's about. I'm always down to talk some smack and tell them exactly what I think. I actually, because I've got the headset, which I have been trying to get a headset for a while, I may be streaming sometime soon on Twitch, but look for a bunch of. I'm putting out about 6 YouTube videos in the next 2 days on my channel. So look for a big. I'm trying to get back into being consistent. So look for a big flood of videos over on my channel.
I'm gonna butcher your name right now. Talking smack, smoking crack.
Also, I do have a wee announcement. We will be doing a watch along for the Turkey-Italy game tomorrow. I will set that up later on, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll have George Kyle, we'll have Josh, and we'll have Reece. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tomorrow.
I will be there because I finish work at 7:30.
I just thought that Scotland Czech is at 8 p.m. so I get to actually get sleep and then watch the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even better. So yes, we will be.
It's one of my free teams for the tournament because obviously I've got German and I've got Italian family as well, so I will be repping the Italians. But there we go.
I've got Scotland and Switzerland.
We will be doing a live watch along, so it'll be myself, George, Reece, Josh, and potentially Nathan. So it looks like all the podcast crew will be back. So obviously just keep an eye on that, and we will see you tomorrow.
Nippin's asking if we are inviting people to the stream at halftime. We haven't decided actually. We haven't decided.
I will speak to the others and we'll let you know. We'll let you know until then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, if you have liked this video, then please hit that like button. It is massively appreciated. Helps people to watch this channel as well. But thank you very, very much for everyone watching. And let's hope the Scots start with a win on Monday. And until then, it is goodbye from us. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.